What's up, gamers? You might remember a few months ago I did a video to Jesus Freak in response to his Grand Theft Auto 4 Smut Should Be Banned video. I'll post links to that one and my response. I want to respond to another one of his videos today entitled Proof Video Games Can Influence Us to Sin. I'll post a link to that as well. Be sure to watch it and catch up before you watch this one so you know what's going on. And I'm just going to jump right into it. Jesus Freak. Some idiots go out, act incredibly stupid, get arrested, then blame a game instead of taking responsibility for their actions, and you say it proves you right. No, it does not, and I'll tell you why. By definition, proof is the establishment of the truth, and the only thing you proved here is what I've been saying for years now. People don't want to take responsibility for their own actions. Yours is a seriously flawed argument for any debate by any standard. Example, David Berkowitz, the son of Sam, said he was ordered to kill by his neighbor's demonically possessed dog. Does that prove that dogs can be possessed and make people kill? No, it's an excuse, and excuses don't prove anything. And another thing, the information you offer is not accurate. They did not beat a man with crowbars and ball bats. Watch the video again, then do what I did, check other sources of information. They beat and mugged the man before going to a train station where 3 more of their friends joined them. Then they armed themselves with a ball bat, crowbar, and broomstick, one of each. You pluralized them over and over. These weapons were never used to assault a person. Then they blocked the road and stole cigarettes from a woman in a BMW, but there was no report of violence against the woman, and they did not carjack her like you said they did in your video. She drove away. They did strike one van with the weapons before they were arrested a few minutes later. If you're going to speak on something, show some integrity and speak only the facts. Don't build upon it and supply false information. By the way, did you know that 2 of the kids had prior records, one for drug offenses and the other for burglary and grand larceny, and these events were not connected to video games. And before they started this so-called crime spree, they were drinking. Look, I'm not saying it's right. What these kids did is completely deplorable. And when they stand before a judge, they deserve no mercy at all, including the mercy they hope to get by blaming a video game. But you need to get the facts straight before you speak. Don't mislead people by twisting the information in such a deceitful manner. You want so bad to prove yourself correct that you say things that leave me questioning your ethics. Then you say it's profound that 6 like-minded delinquents emulated a video game, and again, as in my last video to you, I'm forced to ask, where does the individual and parental responsibility come into play here? You ignore it completely. You blame the game series and only the game series because you think it proves your ridiculous theory, when the only fact you had correct is that there are a minority among game players. This is not typical gamer behavior. And I'm not going to give you my opinion on that. I want to give you facts. Facts that are indisputable. You say you owned the people who didn't agree with you. Well, this is where I own you. Since 1997, over 90 million Grand Theft Auto games have been sold worldwide. You just connected one crime committed by 6 kids to Grand Theft Auto. If each one of those kids owns a Grand Theft Auto game, that means you just connected Grand Theft Auto to a crime committed by 0.000007% of Grand Theft Auto owners, and I round it up. So what about the other 89,999,994 people who own the game? Can you connect 900,000 crimes to Grand Theft Auto and give me at least a 1% crime rate among its owners? No, you can't. Wow. What you've offered here is what we commonly refer to as a losing argument. Here's how it really is. You think kids are desensitized. Well, of course they are. Not by the hundreds of millions of violent video games out there, but by everyday life. The reality of the world we live in. Not the sheltered existence you'd like to pretend is reality, but the real one. You say you can see how these games can add to the demoralization, sexualization, and degradation of women. Where do you get that? Because there are prostitutes in games? Take a look, bud. There are hookers in real life, too. Always have been since before video games. There's pornography, strip clubs, Paris Hilton and Britney Spears. Every society has been sexualizing, degrading, and demoralizing women since time began. And America's not even the worst. The fact is that video games aren't the cause, they're a very slight symptom. You'd probably like to see a ban of violent and sexually explicit video games, which of course is completely unconstitutional, but what would that solve? Nothing. Nothing at all. You don't treat symptoms, you treat the disease. The most violent and horrific acts ever committed by mankind were all perpetrated before the video game was ever created. The men who have waged war throughout history and continue to do so at this very moment were not and are not avid gamers. If you want kids to be sheltered from sex, drugs, violence, and the multitude of sin and temptation the world has to offer, you'll need to ban society as a whole, and that's just not realistic, is it? I'll give you another fact to chew on, Mr. Holier Than Thou. More people have killed in the name of Christianity than you could ever try to connect to the influence of video games. The Crusades, 30 Years' War, the French War of Religion. How many millions of people have killed in the name of Christianity? And you have the audacity to say that video games cause violence when organized religion as a whole has been the cause of countless hundreds of millions of deaths throughout history. Why don't you speak out against religion the way you do against video games? Oh, because it doesn't suit your agenda. Let me also mention this. You seem to really support YouTube by posting all your videos here, but if you type young ass into your search bar, you'll get over 53,000 results that I'm sure you would find offensive. Then type learn to shoot in, and you'll get nearly 4,000 results, a lot of which are instructional videos that teach you how to shoot a gun. Type in street fight and you'll get 261,000 results. You know what? Maybe you should stop using YouTube, boycott it, and speak out against it, because its content is far more explicit than any Grand Theft Auto game can offer, because it's all real, and it can teach your kids way more than a game can. But again, I guess it doesn't suit your agenda, so you won't point out its evils. Well, what's my answer? Instead of continuing to blame games and post your self-important "I told you so" bullcrap videos, you take some time and truly reflect on the importance of family, the responsibility of a parent to teach their kids right from wrong, then redirect your energy in the right direction. Because we're all human, and at some point in all our lives, without any outside influence or stimuli, we all come to understand that if we strike another human, we will cause them pain. We all realize at some point that we can cheat, steal, and lie. We don't need a game to teach us things like this because they're part of our existence. What we need is to be taught right from wrong from childhood, taught integrity and honor, taught to appreciate proper moral and ethical values, and that's the job of a parent. Once again, I've looked at your channel and I see nothing in this area. You've done 222 videos and not a single one on this subject. Do you think you're doing something good by attacking violent games and the rights of companies to make them, when in fact you should be talking about the things that really matter, educating the youth so all these external influences you're so worried about, as well as the ones you seem to ignore because it doesn't suit your agenda, can't make criminals of them. If you raise intelligent kids, teach them the basics of common sense, responsibility, and integrity, instead of always blaming something else when they do something stupid, then maybe society as a whole can begin to suit your standards. Because playing the blame game is not going to accomplish this, especially when you are wrong. The only thing more sad than the act of violence these kids committed is that some people may actually buy into their excuse, like you. And even more sad is your willingness to be so satisfied in this lame attempt to use it in such a self-serving, conceited, and boastful manner, just to try to support your idiotic views. You actually say you expect apologies. Well, let me tell you something. Your pathetic and pretentious "I told you so" video is truly loathsome and sad. I'm proud to say I'm one of the people who thought you were a fool for posting your Grand Theft Auto 4 smut and should be banned video, and now I see you as even more a fool. A dim-witted buffoon, a doltish nincompoop for posting this follow-up video, and for your arrogance and pomposity in the matter, you should be ashamed of yourself. But hey, don't take my word for it. Let me put it in words you can't ignore. Proverbs 16:18. Pride goeth before destruction, and a haughty spirit before a fall. Maybe you should think about that next time you get so cocky. That's all I have to say.